I want to address real quick this redevelopment money that we're spending. Again, I think we heard from all the people that came in here how important it is that we put our money where we need to put it and not waste any money. The taxes have gone up a lot. I was kind of hoping that we were going to get into a new order of things that was going to start reducing our expenditures, and it looks like I see things that we're going to expand it. The redevelopment plan for White Street,
didn't I say that we should deal with what we have already?
Pardon?
I think I said that we should deal with the report that we have.
I agree with you.
Not spending money on new reports.
I absolutely agree. We're on the same page. We don't need to spend more money with experts. It sounds as if, since we own the property, it sounds as if this is a veiled way of shoving a parking garage down our throats when the people in Red Bank have made their position well known that they are not in favor, for the most part, of a parking garage that we can't pay for. The plans that we've seen in the past provided major bennies for the people who are going to build it or get development rights there. They were going to use up most of the parking, and they're going to use up our water, and they're going to use up our sewer, and they're going to use up our roads. And the people then end up paying for that development project. More development doesn't make your taxes go down. More development makes your taxes go up. If it were the other way around, New York City would have the lowest taxes, and Oklahoma and Kansas would have the highest. But it's not the way it works.
Would you like to live in Oklahoma or New York City?
Well, I've heard some good things about Oklahoma.
Send me a postcard.
I will. Next time I'm there. Maybe I'll send you to Oklahoma.
I have no interest in going to Oklahoma. I've never been to Iowa either.
So I think that if we're even going to think about something like that, we don't spend, and we just went through this with the, what is that, Bellhaven, where we spent $73,000 on soft engineering costs. I have all those bills also. You might as well have burned $73,000 and put it into a garbage can. And that could have been 10 people's total property taxes that we could have given them for free if we hadn't wasted that money and had a lottery, and that would have made some happy people. People are stressed out in Red Bank with property taxes, and they made a lot of good points. The more you drive up property taxes, the more the value of the house goes down, and we've really gotten to a saturation point, which is why I'm against the water meters, because we're going to have to absorb those costs into our water and sewer costs. And it's also why I'm against any expenditures in connection with any redevelopment projects at all. They've got bad connotations. You start thinking about Long Branch and all that stuff that happens. We own the lot. We know there are right-of-ways over parts of that lot. We can do the studies ourselves, present it in a referendum, see if the people want to buy it. I don't think they're going to want to. But let me get to something that really does, I found quite problematic and maybe even offensive. I was here for the reorganization meeting. And I have to say that it seemed like I went to a coronation. The public was totally left out of the whole affair. There were a lot of changes there. One in particular, and I'll just use that as an example because you brought up a great point when you did speak. Our long-serving municipal court judge has saved us an enormous amount of money over the years. He is probably, I guess you said $40,000 a year, maybe more. God bless him. I hope he goes for another 40 years, and he'll probably outlast both of us. But
he's in better shape than both you and I.
Well, he runs better than I do, but he does have special needs. So, but he wanted Jimmy Butler back. Jimmy Butler was on the list to become the prosecutor again.
He had submitted an RFP and he was on the list of qualified individuals, yes.
RFP or RFQ, yes.
Yeah.
And we ended up with a switch at the last minute. None of the public had any opportunity to speak. None of the public got to hear any of this stuff or know what was going on. This was all done in a back room. And I'm offended by it. All these people that said, oh, we're going to listen to the public, we're going to listen to the people, we're going to do what they want. It was BS. It took about 2 seconds for him to throw us under the bus. Now, we have a guy who gets substituted that didn't even have an RFQ or RFP, whatever it was. So I want to know, how did he get selected over someone that the municipal court judge was begging for because he was so qualified and ran the court so well that it makes it easier. Someone knows what they're doing, even if it's a mechanic, you can take it to him, he knows what's wrong with your car, he takes it off, he gets it fixed, boom, you're out of there. He saves you money and time. And you as a prosecutor and I both know that. And now we have a situation where we had a political move a year ago, January, where we got rid of Jimmy Butler. We ended up with a gentleman who, in my opinion, traded jobs, a council individual who I think was responsible for it, that made a mistake in doing that to the disadvantage of the public. And the public knows better than a lot of other people what we need in this town. And he was a nightmare of slow. And it annoyed the judge and the people that were working there. And Judge Hillman, I know, wanted Jimmy back. But I want to know, who picked this guy? Where did he come from? And what are his qualifications? And why were we left in the dark and no one got to talk about this? Or any of the others?
Well, again, I don't know what happened in municipal court. I can tell you that I didn't know the gentleman, and the name was given at the last minute. But more importantly, there were a number of individuals who were on that list, and obviously I respect Mr. Butler, and I know him, I've worked with him for 25 years. But there were other individuals who had submitted RFPs. John Lane, for example, was a well-qualified municipal prosecutor, but again, he was on the list, he wasn't chosen, so I don't know why. But this person was not on the list, and evidently we were told that he was being appointed under the non-fair and non-open process.
And that says a lot.
I'm sorry. So I think the question that we have to really resolve is, were any contributions of a reportable nature made to any campaign committee by this individual in 2015, under any guise and under any campaign committee of any type in Monmouth County? And if so, maybe the appointment was an error.
Well, I would like that looked into. On top of which, I will tell you that I have looked at the money flow, and I was very upset to see the way the money flowed, because it seemed as if you gave money, you got a job. If you had a job, you gave money to keep the job. It was on both sides, and I don't like this game. Jimmy Butler, I heard, was denied, was taken off of the list at the last minute. Well, anybody that knew about it, I knew about it. I couldn't get any information about what was going to happen. I came in and boom, it's done. No opportunity to talk. People had done something in the back room. Don't tell anybody about it. But I heard that Jimmy Butler was ripped off of that list because he was a Democrat. And that's foolish.
You're bordering on the offensive at this point. Your allegations about campaign, and Mr. Mayor, your comments as well. You can check the ELEC records. They are public records. I can assure you no campaign donations affect any appointments that were made by anybody in this council. Mind you, all of the appointments were made bipartisanly and unanimously.
Okay, I respectfully disagree.
Mr. Butler was brought back as conflict counsel.
I respectfully
disagree. And every
disagree.
person who submitted an appointment request to the RFP process, that's a matter of public record as well.
I respectfully disagree. All right, and I'll bring up another point. There was a resolution, if I'm not mistaken, that confirmed or established an 18% interest rate on unpaid taxes over a certain amount. And then it goes to 24%. I think that was passed the same day that there was a reorg meeting. And that interest charge, I have previously indicated, I found to be somewhat offensive and unfair to elderly people, because it's the older people who've had their houses for a long time, who don't have a mortgage and have to pay it out of their pocket. If they get behind a little bit and then they get behind 18% worth, they get behind 24%, it's very difficult for them to make up that, and they could end up losing their property. There were people that's on this council who said that that was unfair, and yet I believe they all voted for that 18 and 24% interest. I would like the council to take a look at that and do something about that.
And Bill, I don't presume to speak for the Chair Linder, but we just confirmed the Finance Committee will look into that.
All right, but, you know, I do take issue with you taking issue with my stuff, and I didn't make that step that I might have made by virtue of you doing what you just did, because what I said about that, where the money went and how it went, there's a lot to be said for that. You say it didn't happen that way, I say it was in back rooms.